to the tables. A group of 50 singers and dancers is taking their production, The Daisy Chain, on an overseas tour of the United States and Canada. John Flower went along to their Sydney show.
Bet ne visā visumā, es domāju, šī izrāde. Jūs jau mēs dzirdējām atsauksmes Kanberā, un tāpat ir kanbērieši jau ir izlasījuši atsauksmi Austrālijas Latvietī par izrādi. Sidnejieši, es pieņemu, nav saņēmuši tās avīzes vēl. Atsauksmes ir labas, bet arvien vēl var kļūt labāk, vai ne, viss tā lieta. Tā kā dzīvojiet vien, un ziniet, kāpēc tā izrāde šoreiz laba? Ka jūs tiešām dzīvojiet. Mums nav tikai dejas vien, kurās jāsmaida, bet taisni viss tās darbības, kur jūs, vai ne, dzīvojiet līdzi. Un vienalga, ja tu esi uz skatuves, tad tu vairs nevar nostāties, vai ne, nu, tagad miers, vai ne. Jums ir visu laiku tiešām jādzīvo, un tas ir jau kāpēc mums tā izrāde ir labi.
The 50-member ensemble was in Sydney for 2 performances of its latest production, The Daisy Chain. The members are mostly young Australians of Latvian origin from Canberra, Sydney and Melbourne. They come from 2 folk groups which since 1973 have combined every few years to stage a major production.
It's based on Latvian customs, folk, law, written verses. We have verses called dinas which tell us about what people did many centuries ago.
How relevant is it to Latvian village life today?
Well, it's not relevant to village life. The period we're portraying here is perhaps about 100 years ago. But we are here in Australia as well as in Latvia. These sort of customs are being revived for modern marriage ceremonies because people feel in the words of the songs and in the traditions some sort of kinship with their ancestors, and therefore they can use these traditions in modern life. To understand a culture, you have to know the language. If you don't understand the language, you can only very superficially get into the meaning of the thing. Therefore, it's quite important. We are all either second-generation Latvians, or there are some Australians among us. Now, on purpose, I conduct all rehearsals and all coaching in Latvian, and we depend on the other cast members to translate as we go. But I do not go into English because then, you know, the language would be lost, and therefore a lot of traditions would.
What's the symbol of the daisy chain?
Well, we use the daisy chain as a symbolism of continuity. The first act is set in the past. We go through a historic, difficult period for the Latvian people, and the third act is meant to be the future. Again, life goes round in a circle like a daisy chain. And a daisy is the first flower that blooms in spring after a hard winter. That's the symbolism, the sort of life cycle and the renewal.
Judging by the reaction of the capacity audience, the daisy chain struck an emotive chord.
When I left my country, I was a kid myself. Now I can tell the kids that how we used to do the customs in our country.
The national costumes, the hats, the colors.
I think it's just keeping alive the Latvian tradition.
Does that mean a lot to your mum?
Yes. Dad's explained that's what happened in Latvia and I enjoy it.
What sort of
I had
memories?
to cry.
You cried?
Yes, indeed I did. Because it brings me back my youth, my past life, and I'm sorry that everything is gone.
Do you recall doing those sorts of dances?
Of course, I did myself when I was young.
All the ritual of the bride and the dressing up and so forth?
Yes, certainly. Because in Latvia, every school child was doing national dances. Everybody did it.
The people, in a humorous way, tell the girl that she should reconsider, and therefore, when she's first, the cap is first put on her, she throws it away, and they say, it doesn't suit you, it doesn't suit you, throw it away, throw it away. So she does this, but the third time, the mother-in-law puts on the correct shawl, and everybody says, well, yes, you are now a married woman.
It seems that you've collected together a group of Latvians who are very musical and have great ability to dance. Is that a traditional thing with Latvians?
Yes, Latvians are very prolific singers. We have many songs and we are great singers. Dancing is slightly more modern. It's easier for the young people to get into these days, and therefore we find that through dance we can show our traditions in a sort of acceptable way, a very easily digestible way.
That beautifully